What's up, heathens? How ya doing? Today we're going to be going over more comments, but first we gotta crown the dumbass from last week. And last week's dumbass was this person right here. Yeah, you that thinks that like the Christmas and the Halloween being pagan kind of thing means that it's like, I don't know, somehow you can't celebrate those things. Those are all very commercialized, so you're fine to celebrate them. It's not sacrilegious or anything like that. Go ahead, have fun. If you picked this dumbass from last week, then you win 1,000,000 God points. Remember, these God points are worth about as Trump screaming presidential harassment randomly throughout the day. Nobody really gives a shit, and it's largely worthless. Hey, speaking of dipshits! Oh no, somebody unsubscribed!
Evolution is the theory in the dark arts of education.
And atheists just don't want to believe in God? Somebody tells me to go get a girl and start living life. Oh no, the Globe Mythology has been exposed, guys! Somebody didn't like my G-Man discussion. And apparently, polio is man-made. So if you're interested in any of these dipshits, then please stay tuned. But first we have... Today I learned... First up on Today I Learned, we have that researchers know the coloration of certain feathered dinosaurs. Known colors include red, orange, gray, and iridescent black. I think it's fascinating how much information we can get from fossil evidence and from the geologic evidence in general. I find that particular area of science to be very fascinating, and the way that they know these things is awesome as well. So, like, for instance, in some fossils, the feathers contain melanosomes, and by analyzing the melanosomes that are apparent in the fossils, researchers could determine what colors the feathers actually were. And that's where they get, where these colors came from, is the melanosomes that they analyze in the fossils. It's just one particular instance of how they figured out the colors. If you want to learn more, I'm sure that I have a link down below in the description that talks about the different ways that they've determined the colors of different feathers of dinosaurs. Next on Today I learned that the longest trackway, huge set of footprints of the largest class of dinosaurs is in Plain, France. It was a sea with small islands back then, which went low, and the dinosaurs hopped from island to the next in search of food. Tectonic upheaval raised the landmass and exposed the footprints. And this is an awesome find. I mean, it's just so mind-blowing to me that we can have these kind of footprints that have been basically immortalized in fossil evidence. It's so fascinating to me, just having that old of fossils and knowing where these animals traveled and why they traveled and everything like that. It's just, I love learning dinosaur facts, and that's why I've been focusing on dinosaur facts here lately. And then finally on Today I Learned, there's a dinosaur named Gasosaurus, named after a Chinese gasoline company. And I can't wait for a Trumposaurus. Or something like that, or for like bigger companies to get in on the fossil finds and everything like that. Which I think that there's a less likelihood of that happening now, considering that the Bone Wars happened like ages ago. I think that if the Bone Wars would have happened now, you would definitely have like Verizon jumping on with its Verizosaurus Rex or something like that. Oh, I will pay you $12 million if you name it this stupid fucking name that's copyrighted. Now, every time anybody mentions it, we get 12 cents. Okay, that's just how it is. Yes, now we have Out of Context Comic. If you guys love Out of Context Comics too, please feel free to tweet them at me on Twitter at Godless Engineer. Today, I'm guessing this is an Iron Man comic? Let me know if you know where this comes from. But anyways, it says, Once more, Hugh climbs inside the Iron Man. Now, to find those babies. And the face on him just looks fucking crazy as shit, doesn't it? He looks legit insane. The face on this thing. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. This seems really creepy and crazy, but maybe it's just my ignorance of the Iron Man comics, maybe? I don't know. Oh, you guys know what time it is now? That's right. Shitty ass science! We're gonna answer some science shit really wrong. Oh, what is up, heathens? How y'all doing? Today we've got an awesome question for shitty ass science coming from the Insane Quora subreddit, and it says, were the Vikings originally Jews who were pushed north from the Middle East? Yes, they fucking were. They were savage as shit. If you've read the Old Testament, you know the Israelites are fucking savage and shit. I mean, they'll go into a town and fucking kill everything in there and only take the women that you can fuck. Includes the little girls too. I know. By modern standards, that seems horrible. But back in the day, God was all okay with it, and so it was perfectly fine for you to fuck 12-year-olds. But hey, that's in the past. That was all culturally appropriate back then. But now let's get back on into these Vikings, okay? These Vikings were actually the Israelites. They just took some steroids, pumped themselves up a little bit, and then they became the Vikings. And they started rummaging and pillaging all these other motherfuckers out there. They was like, oh, hey, look, they don't really secure their little religious temple, and they got all this gold shit in there, and we all know Yahweh loves that gold. He's got to encrust his gold dildos with more gold, and then he's got to fill it with diamonds and shit. And actually, there weren't any diamonds in the Old Testament. It was pretty much just gold and like precious metals and stuff. You also got to use the right incense and shit. But hey, that's what the Vikings were for. They went and they stole all that gold from people so that they could sacrifice it or encrust it onto the dildos for God to fuck himself with. And that's history, right? That is verifiable history. You can't discredit or discount me. You just gotta believe me, okay? Anyways, that's it for shitty ass science today. I guess this is more shitty ass history, right? But we use science to determine all this kind of shit. So anyways, bye heathens. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you later. Oh, I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know what the fuck this question is. No, the Jews did not migrate north to become the Vikings. I don't even know why this is a question. Is this a troll question? I'm not sure, but take a basic history class or something. I don't fucking know. Anyways, that's it for shitty ass science. Y'all ready for comments? I know I am. Comments of the day. Prepare to facepalm yourself in the next week. Yeah! I'm trying to make that a little bit more metal than it really should be. Alright, so first up on the comments we have, I'm Nietzsche. I'm sorry, because I've been a long time sub, but you cry too much retarded political shit! You both are right and wrong! You need to learn the truth, for one. And two, there are 3 sides to every story. Your side, and their side, and the truth! No one knows everything or how things were meant to be. Oh shit. I guess I lost this subscriber. Fuck. And he goes on to say a whole bunch of other shit, and basically he doesn't like how I shit on Trump every week with these comment videos. That's going to continue. I get that some of you guys don't like me shitting on Trump, but I mean, I feel like even Trump supporters need to realize the fact that Trump is an embarrassment. And he should be ridiculed for all of the bullshit that he posts and all of the bullshit that he says. But anyways, basically this guy doesn't like my own political stance, and he's saying that I'm wrong in it because I don't hold his political stance. Now, while I may find Trump supporters to be very, very wrong in certain situations or whatnot, I'm perfectly fine with them having those opinions. I don't really watch a lot of Trump supporting type of videos, but I don't discount people just because they do support Trump. I get that that's kind of a gut reaction for a lot of people, but I have had friends that have been on the Trump support side, and I think it's fine if you want to support Trump, but at this juncture with him about to be impeached, you have to start wondering about it, right? I mean, I get that there are fanatics out there, but I mean, god damn. So this one isn't a comment from one of my videos. I believe this was a Viced Rhino or Surus video. Guys, I'm really sorry. I'm going to put both of y'all in the description. Go subscribe to Viced Rhino and Surus. They're great channels, which, I mean, vastly better than mine. Just go check them out. Anyways, so we got David and Newman here who says, I have never met a right atheist. Oh, but I'm a left atheist. Fuck! I don't meet the right atheist. I wonder what it means to be a right atheist. I guess that just means correct in everything? I don't know. Let's see. They have usurped science and misinterpret all of the evidence. Wait, what? I don't remember us doing any of that, but okay. We don't even have to talk about whales. Oh, fuck! Why do whales always get brought up? Fucking whale dicks. All you have to do is provide all the missing links to man. Well, I mean, all the missing links, because, I mean, every single fossil is a transitional fossil. Like, even now we're a transitional fossil, so, I mean, I don't really understand what you mean by provide all the missing links. You're always going to find a gap to shove your god in. The fossil record indicates mankind has always been mankind and his existence is extremely young. Oh shit, did they make a new find or something? Because that's not evidenced in the fossil record. None of that is actually evidenced anywhere except for the Bible. The only transitions ever documented have only occurred within the LGBTQ community. Mutations have also been documented within the LGBTQ community. They seem to have a monopoly on scientific evidence. No, they don't. The LGBTQ community doesn't have a monopoly on anything other than, I guess, gay stuff. Even then, they don't have a monopoly on it. I don't even know what it would mean to have a monopoly on the LGBTQ community. But nobody has a monopoly on science. The only monopoly that occurs in science is a monopoly on reality, because science, wants to describe reality the best that it can, and that's the goal of science. So, I mean, if science seems to disagree with your worldview, maybe you need to rethink your worldview. I found this one on Twitter. So it's Cheshire who says, evolution theory is still in practice.
In the name of dark education, Charles Darwin is impossible state to cheap checker.
Charles Darwin is impossible state to cheap checker? What does that even fucking mean? Like, I have no idea what you're even trying to communicate here. Just, could you give me a hint, please? But also, I don't see how evolution is done in the name of dark education. Like, is that some kind of fucking thing from Hogwarts? Like, are you taking the dark arts class from that Snape fucker? Dark education. Jesus Christ. Without God, Jesus Christ, on the American side, we are doomed. Wait, we are Doom? Like, without those things, we are the supervillain Doom from the Fantastic Four and Marvel Universe. That's what we are? I don't know. Doom was a rich fuck, if you remember the older movies about the Fantastic Four. He was a rich fuck. I'm not so much in the attempted, like, reboot of it. Like, I don't know. I don't want to credit that one with actually being a Fantastic Four movie, even though it actually was. It was a really, really shitty movie. But still, without God or Jesus Christ, I don't see how we're doomed, which I think is what he was trying to communicate here. I don't see how we're doomed as a nation. I mean, I get it theologically from a like Old Testament sort of standpoint, because if your nation doesn't give everything up to God, doesn't obey God as a nation, like completely, then God will fuck you over eventually. God will send some kind of evil force or something like that to fuck you over, or he will split the nation and cause them to fuck themselves. Like violently fuck themselves, not just like political discourse kind of fight themselves like you're seeing now. Of course, I guess I could see how some Christians would denote this as being some kind of like judgment on God, which I wonder if any of them out there think that that is what's happening right now. But in any case, none of this is because of like a rejection or a non-adherence of God, right? This is just the normal course of like human society. Well, Trump isn't normal, and the stupidity that we're seeing hasn't been normal. But what I'm saying is that political discourse and disagreements among people in a society is normal for a society. It's just a little bit more extreme recently. Gustavo Gomez here just to tell you how much you're fucked. The lack of faith escapes from those who refuse to see the good in what they have, and a liar like yourself is running away from the abundant life. Well, no, for one thing, the abundant life has to exist first in order for me to run away from it. I don't want to run away from abundant life, although I think an eternity after we die kind of seems like it sucks. I mean, at some point you're going to get fucking bored, and if you're eternal, then what the fuck are you going to do? Kill yourself or something? Like, I don't know. I feel like you would eventually go crazy in an eternity after, you know, your life. But I like that we're still keeping up with the whole idea that atheists are lying or lying to themselves here. This is not at all what we are doing. We're just being honest about how we feel about the topic of religion and what we believe about your religion in particular. Like, I don't believe that your God exists. That doesn't mean that I'm running away from it. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to, I don't know what else you might think. I'm not trying to do any of that. That's just what I believe. I can't control what convinces me, okay? Godless Engineer, this is Evan and Shaky here, and I just came by to lay some knowledge on your ass, because you seem dumb as fuck, okay? I just wanted you to know that you should watch and learn something from the videos I've linked, but that Godless Engineer has cut the fuck out of this comment because fuck that shit. DNA is information. So this is a common theme among creationists, is to say that DNA is information, and only information can come from a mind, or information can only come from a mind. And this is such a misunderstanding of what DNA is and how we interpret DNA. It's laughable, because DNA is a chemical. It's subject to the laws of chemistry and physics. We can interpret it as a code, right? We can determine what the makeup is of a certain DNA molecule, and we can interpret that as being code. We can look at certain parts of it and we can know, oh, well, when these chemicals are arranged in this way, that means this happens. Like, we can interpret it that way, but that doesn't mean that it's information or a code. It just means that we can interpret it in ways that we can predict what effects those particular sequences have. That's all that means. That doesn't mean that it's a language or information. Not this guy again, here coming by to shit on your video and to shit on your day in general, because that's my job here at YouTube Inc. Bro, the fact you think 9/11 happened as told is just wow. You're pitiful. A joke. Go get a girl if possible and start living life. Critical thinking is not your forte. No, I mean, I don't think critical thinking is your forte. I mean, obviously, I mean, you have this whole like 9/11 insider kind of mindset. Plus, I mean, KC is all throughout my videos. So you lack in a basic comprehension of things you fucking watch. Don't tell me that critical thinking is not my forte when you can't even recognize shit that's going on in front of you. The Joey Castile channel here, just to let you know what your particular religion is made up of. Here it is. The elite scientists are the priests, and the textbooks are the Bible. Evolutionists believe by faith See, I don't need faith in order to accept evolution for the fact that it is, because we have actual evidence for it. We have paleontological evidence through the fossil record. We have biological evidence through genetics and shit like that. And we've been able to see micro and macro evolution happening. Although I will say that creationists have co-opted those terms, micro and macro, to mean these different things, but it's still ultimately just evolution. And I know that I got a lot of shit this one time about how macro-micro thing was like created by creationists or something like that. I didn't necessarily mean that it originated from creationists. I just meant that like they have co-opted it and they are now using it in a certain way that's very disingenuous. And I don't think I communicated that very well, or I might have even misspoke. I can't remember exactly, but in any case, it doesn't matter how it originated. Creationists have co-opted it to mean these two different things. And ultimately, micro, macro, they are both just evolution, and that's all that they are. But we have evidence for both of them. We have evidence of adaptation, which would be microevolution, and then we have evidence of macroevolution, which would be speciation. Most recently, there was a new species discovered on, I believe it was one of the Galapagos Islands or something like that. Anyways, they didn't exist on the island prior to just like maybe 20 years ago or something like that, and then over the course of time, they have developed. So we have witnessed speciation events. Ring species is also another good bit of evidence for speciation. So yeah, we don't have to believe on faith. We have actual evidence. They would have to believe that these scientists have done their homework and are correct. Well, I mean, their conclusions are supported by the evidence that they provide. So it's not an assumption to assume that they are correct. They're proven correct by their evidence. I hear is no way they could be wrong. What? Or that they could be deliberately deceiving the people. Yeah. Scientists themselves even admit their science can't be proven. I don't know how you would actually prove this. I think you go on in your comment to spout a whole bunch of shit there, but still, I don't know how you would actually go about proving this. Like, proving that science can't be proven, or that scientists say that their science can't be proven. It's obviously been proven. There's evidence for it. FA News here, and I'm just gonna expose the Globe Mythology right here, right now. Y'all ready? Hold on to your butts. The Globe Mythology. All religions have stories of mythical heroes that inspire belief and worship by their followers. The Globe religion is no exception. It has its own myths, but these are the most outlandish myths of any religion that has ever existed. I have listed some of my favorite Globe myths that apparently Globe believers think happened. 1. Some guy in Greece put some sticks in the ground and saw his shadow. Then thought, globe! Actually, this is not correct. Eratosthenes already assumed that the Earth was a globe, and so what he was measuring was the circumference of that sphere. That's what he was measuring when he put 2 sticks into the ground, measured their shadows, and then did basic geometry in order to figure out the circumference. This is not a myth. This actually happened. Some guy had an apple fall on his head and thought it meant things only go down. He called this misunderstanding gravity. No, Newton still happened is not a myth. Now, the actual account of, like, the apple hitting Newton on the head or whatnot, that might not be as historical as it's commonly thought to be. Actually, right now, the historical consensus on that would be that he saw an apple fall from a tree and he began to ponder why it fell down, and that's what led him down the rabbit hole that eventually led to him calling this mysterious force gravity. Einstein then later extrapolated on this whole idea and came to the conclusion that gravity is the result of the bending of space-time. So, I mean, gravity is a real thing, and yes, things fall down here on Earth because of gravity. That actually happened. So I don't know why you think it's a myth. In any case, he goes on to, like, describe a multitude of different things that didn't happen in his particular mindset, but I didn't really go through the entire list, but I'm assuming that they probably all happened considering that he first starts out with these guys, and then he thinks that, like, gravity and planets and all this other kind of shit are myths in general too. So, safe to say, this guy's a dipshit. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and he's blatantly lying about the historical nature of these particular experiments or events. Bullet King is here, and I am gonna fuck you with some lead bullets right in your gullet right now, okay? Because this is what I gotta say. Is this a godless channel or a liberal channel? I didn't spend 4 years of being a subscriber to this channel just to be introduced to liberal bullshit. What happened to the good old days of challenging Christians and other ideas? Or loonies, rather. So, I mean, I still do that, and the political content on my channel is actually really, really low in frequency compared to all of the other stuff that I do. And yeah, I shit on Trump once a week. Big fucking deal. This, of course, was a collab video I did with a progressive liberal where we discussed Trump and his anti-LGBTQ policies and things that his administration has done directly against LGBTQ people, while he, at the same time, is professing that he is an ally to the LGBTQ population, but also is selling LGBTQ apparel on his own website. So yeah, I'm gonna shit on Trump. I'm not a Trump fan. Trump can fuck off. I think that he's probably gonna get impeached. Whether or not that means he's gonna be removed from office, I'm not exactly sure, because it's not exactly like he got just a blowjob in the Oval Office and then lied about it. I mean, he's actively worked with foreign people, foreign nations, to try to affect our election system. Like, it was up in the air before with the whole Russian thing. He may or may not have asked them directly to do it. But this time, we have actual evidence that he directly did that. It doesn't look good for him. So yeah, if you can't handle me and my politics, then definitely fuck off the channel. Alexanderbite is here. I don't have the Beatus, but my last name is Beatus. Yes, atheists are indeed dumb, foolish, whether they like it or not. I have to love the comments where you misspell not only one word, but 2 words, but call me dumb or foolish, okay? And that particular Dr. Gene Kim video right there, he calls us dumb and foolish for like really stupid reasons. So it's just, I don't know, the irony here is just so palpable. JoGirlCo here, and I just came by to say to you there, Godless, that man, y'all are screwed up mental cases. If you guys don't like the Christians, why no, just live your own life? I don't know. I'm faced with Christian privilege all the time in online and in my personal job. I have to interact with it all the time. So yeah, I have opinions and I'm going to espouse them because stand up and use your voice against bullshit like this. It's funny because you guys seem really desperate. You are not funny. You have zero understanding of humor and it's just plain boring. Good grief. Even I can respect other humans. Waste of humanity. So, like, you say, I can respect other humans, and then you tell me that I'm a waste of humanity. How is that respect? Like, I don't ad hom people that I respond to, unless they are ad homing me or atheists in general. I mean, typically, I don't break out the ad homs first. So I don't think that I'm disrespecting humans or other people. I'm disrespecting religion. There's a massive difference there. And I think it's a little sad that you can't see that. Also, a ton of your facts are opinionated and aren't accurate. So this was on one of the Daily Bible podcasts, and I just think that it's funny how he's commenting about facts not being correct. My guess is that he probably just watched like the first 10 minutes maybe, or 5 minutes or so of the video, and like he's calling that me being factual. I'm purposefully misrepresenting the Bible as like a nod to the whole idea that atheists don't know the Bible. It's a lot like if you have a card deck, right? And you want somebody to guess all 52 of the cards in order, right? That has the same probability as somebody getting it completely wrong. My point is that I know what the Bible study's about. I know what it says. I'm purposefully getting it wrong to make a point. Gee, I love you, dude, but you're letting the G-child strawman you mercilessly, and you're not calling him out on it. G-man has the intellect of a 5-year-old. Didn't the first time you tried this teach you anything? It was just too painful to watch after about a half hour. Okay, fair enough. I don't expect people to watch everything that I do or all of the video that they start watching, but at the same time, I didn't really think that that was going to be a very productive thing to like just keep calling them out on strawmans or whatnot. See, I'm more interested in having actual conversations rather than presenting a dumpster fire for people to watch. Like, I feel like discussions are a lot better than dumpster fires. Grizz8604 here, and I just wanted to say, it's funny how this fat fuck uses his stupid ass voices when reading comments he doesn't agree with to act as if they don't bother him. The fact he uses said voices is just confirmation that he's triggered by them, but does not want to come. And then honestly, I couldn't be bothered to actually hit read more on this because I really don't give a fuck because I'm not triggered. I think it's funny to read these particular comments and these types of voices because I feel like it communicates the correct IQ level for somebody to leave these type of comments. Because you see, to leave hate comments like this, you have to not be able to deal with your own inner things. You feel the need to denigrate others or to shit on others because you can't make yourself feel better about your own self. And so you denigrate others so that you can feel better about yourself. And honestly, that's fucking sad when you think about it. So I feel bad for you, Grizz. That's what I feel. Not triggered. I just pity you. Nanette here. Just want to say polio was man-made. You can't spray people with insecticides. I don't see how polio was man-made. I feel like you're connecting it with insecticides as if like somehow the insecticides have caused polio and our use of insecticides on crops has caused that. But insecticides just allow the crops to grow without being consumed by, insects and for them to be, rotten or whatnot because of an insect infestation. That's what insecticides do. Now, granted, you can have an argument for safe insecticides and insecticides that aren't safe, but what I'm talking about here is just the general idea of insecticides, wanting to use those to protect crops from insects. And those don't necessarily cause, like, polio. It definitely wasn't the cause of polio. So no, Nanette, you're wrong. Verifiably wrong. Fucking wrong. That's it for the comments today. I hope that you guys appreciated them. If you will, go down below, hit that straw poll, and let me know who was the dumbass this week. While you're down there, make sure you leave a comment with who you voted for. And then go and smash that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of dumbass content. If you will, check out these links over here. And, as always, stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens. Hey, we'll pay you $12 million if you name this after a whale dick. The whale Dickosaurus! Grizz8604 here, and I'm scratching my arm while I'm fucking saying this shit.